Okay, what is up, everybody? We are back on ICC. Going to be taking a look at another, correspondence chess game that I played on Chess.com. So yeah, 5 days per move, and yeah, pretty interesting game here. So yeah, it's been about a week since I uploaded anything. If any of you recall, in that video, I said that I had a really sore throat and yeah, etc., etc. I was pretty sure that's all it was. But it turns out here we are a week later, and since then I've thrown up about a dozen times and have a huge fever. And okay, I'm feeling better now, which I'm a bit hesitant to say because last time I said that was a week ago, and obviously it's been a pretty bad week health-wise for me. But I feel better now, and yeah, I want to get back to making some videos. So yeah, here we are. So yeah, here I was black, and this is a very typical game for me in correspondence chess. I'm a really big believer in correspondence chess for winning with white and drawing with black, which is a motif that you see time in and time again in Super GM tournaments and etc. etc. Just because the players are so strong that yeah, winning a couple games is usually enough to win the tournament. But here, yeah, I usually play pretty solidly, especially against yeah, d4. So yeah, let's jump right into it. So yeah, with black, yeah, in these correspondence games and also in my over-the-board chess, I really just want to try to equalize and go from there. And this is a very good example of that. So yeah, let's jump ahead. And we have c5. Also possible here, by the way, I should mention, is b6 or d5. But okay, I played the more interesting c5. c4 was played. I took on d4. So yeah, c4, which in my database is the most popular reply to c5. So yeah, after which I played, as I showed, the most popular or second most popular reply, according to my database at least. So yeah, what's more popular than what I played? That would be d5 here. But the position after d5, knight to c3, knight to c6 doesn't really appeal to me, to be honest. So yeah, I didn't go for this. Okay, so I took on d4. Very normal. White recaptured. So yeah, okay, d5, striking at the center, getting a pawn there, which is always important. Knight to c3. And bishop b4. Okay, obviously bishop e7 is also possible. Very similar to yeah, variations out of the Queen's Gambit declined. But okay, I was in a more of a, I don't know, feisty mood, so to say, and I played the more aggressive bishop b4. After which white played bishop d3. So yeah, this is still all theory, believe it or not. I castled, which has a very drawish reputation, and for good reason. Yeah. But, okay, again, this is a typical correspondence game, right? I'm just trying to equalize. I'm approaching this board, you know, twice a day or so. So, yeah, as black, I'm just trying to get a very equal position and then go on from there. Okay, so this is still all theory. b6, bishop g5 pinning, bishop e7, and knight to e5. So yeah, of course, we're still in a very theoretical position out of this opening. Instead of knight to e5, there's also rook to c1 and queen to e2, which are, yeah, they're a bit more, yeah, aggressive, which is probably not a good word. They're moves that sort of avoid a theoretical endgame that we're about to get into. So yeah, after which, so after white played knight to e5, which happened in the game, I took on c3, which basically leads to the theoretical endgame that I mentioned. Instead of bishop takes c3, also possible is bishop e7. I think you could play knight to c6 here, as well as knight b to d7. These are alternatives. But when black, well, at least in my experience, when black players go for this line, 99.9% of the time they're going to play bishop takes c3 here and go into this very theoretical endgame, which I've actually looked at, so I do know somewhat what I'm talking about here. It's sort of, yeah, sort of suits my taste. So yeah, after black takes, obviously white recaptures, and knight to d7, which is the theoretical continuation here. So yeah, So knight was played there, after which white, of course, takes, queen takes, bishop takes, g takes, and we reach this theoretical endgame, which has an extremely high draw rate. You know, a lot of games are drawn very soon from this position, and for good reason. It's reduced material. White has the hanging pawns, but black has a very, really ugly pawn structure on the king side, and in general they should balance each other out, which a lot of games have shown. So yeah, okay, but I've equalized here. I've gotten what I wanted. I have an equal position. This is still, it's not, it's not a draw until it's a draw, so to say. So I played after bishop d3. This is, by the way, where my knowledge of this line ends. I've never seen this move at all. More popular is this check, or
departed.
I lost a friend, or d5. So these are the more theoretical options. I think d5 is actually the best. It's it basically kills the game, so to say. Yeah, just a taste. You could enter this, and black's king is not looking so hot. Okay, but this is still theory and stuff. But going back, oops. After bishop d3, I've never seen this move. It's very logical, and I'm sure it's been played before. But this is where my knowledge stops. Perhaps bishop c2 and queen to d3 and these kinds of ideas.
Friend arrived.
I played queen to d5 here. Which is a very logical move, right? Just threatening mate. Simple chess. f3. I played queen to g5. Mainly I want to get out of this threat.
Server announcement.
Which would be a bit annoying. Probably still okay. It's still very drawish, but I didn't even want to allow that. So after f3, I went here. It's also a very active move. Maybe queen to e3 check could be good at some point, and also just sort of adding some protection to my king. Okay. White played queen to e2. I played rook to c8. Okay, I'm trying to get on these hanging pawns before white somehow gets some sort of attack going, which is very unlikely anyways, just because there's so much reduced material. But okay, rook to c8. White played c4.
Friend departed.
And I played rook f to d8. So yeah, obviously with these ideas, just trying to get pressure on those hanging.
Friend arrived.
Oh my gosh, people keep leaving and arriving. Okay, queen to f2, which makes sense covering this. f5, which I think is just, probably the star move of the game. It's very multi-purpose. First of all, it's cutting off this diagonal. Also, there's the idea of queen to g7 or queen to f6, as we'll see in a moment. White played rook to c1 and queen to f6, and all of a sudden, black, this is an equal theoretical endgame. But okay, now black is starting to get a little something. It's still drawish because of d5, which was played in the game. And this is a typical motif in this endgame. I pointed out d5 earlier where, black had damaged pawns similar to this. But a big difference is that after, obviously I took the pawn. After we get through these exchanges, after rook to e1, black has bishop e6. And this protects both f5 and f7, keeps some pressure over here, and sort of closes down the e-file. And, it's not much. It's still a draw. I don't want to make it out to sound like this is somehow great. But, okay. I'm up a pawn. A pawn is a pawn is a pawn. Bishop a6, rook to d8, a4, and queen to d4. Okay, so in my mind, I remember from this game, when the board came one day and I was deciding on my move, I just thought, okay, queen to d4, we'll trade queens and the game will be drawn. And that's what I expected to happen. Bishop e5, very normal. I played bishop c4, and we reach this position. So we have a rook endgame, and which is obviously very drawish. I played rook to b4. And here, the way to kill the game is the most obvious move. I shouldn't say kill the game. The way to make it a draw is with rook takes a7, and this is obviously a draw. I'm just going to leave it at this. This is a known, draw. yeah, a lot of boring endgame talk here, but it's a draw. Simply put, this wasn't played. Instead, white tried rook to e5, which okay, is interesting. It's sort of covering this b5 pawn and putting pressure here. The problem is black has a very nifty resource with f4, which is very nice, covered by the rook. Rook to f5 played. King to g7. Okay, it's still a draw, right? It's still drawish, but okay, now I have a very active rook that's always on this b5 pawn, and okay, white has to play very precisely, which didn't happen. White played g4. So yeah, obviously yeah, trying to get some sort of play going. But after this en passant capture and rook to b2, yeah, all of a sudden the king is not leaving the first rank, and okay, it's still drawish, I think. My rook endgames are not probably the best ever, but it's still probably a draw. But very uncomfortable. Obviously, black has gained a lot, cutting the king off and such. Rook here was played. I played king to f6. Also possible was king to g6. But, okay, king to f6 is fine. Rook to h5. King to g6. g4. Which is, yeah, losing to a tactical motif here with rook to c2. And, yeah, after king to f1, all you have to do is calculate this out, which isn't that hard. The move is rook to c5, which is, yeah, lights out. So either white saves, keeps the rooks on with one of these moves, but then, of course, loses the b5
Server
pawn.
announcement.
Or, what happened in the game, go to a king and pawn endgame, which is obviously winning. So yeah, white tried f4 here. You can obviously see after this line, black is completely winning with an extra pawn. There is one critical line with g5, which is the only move. Everything else loses to simple stuff. And at first it sort of seems that white maybe is flipped the table around and has a good position. But once you see yeah, f6, you quickly realize that black still has everything under control. Yeah, okay, after taking h5, this pawn runs, and yeah, if you're not playing this, then you're just black is just going to take on g5 and win that way. So yeah. So going back, obviously that was losing. So f4 was tried, and okay, this is just very winning, and not a whole lot to say. And here, white resigned. So yeah, I wanted to show this game mainly just because it's a very good example of a typical correspondence game, for me at least. Equalizing with black, and then once equalized, hoping and looking for opponents' mistakes and taking advantage of that, and yeah, going on to try to get the whole point. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed the game, and yeah, I'm probably going to head over to Chess Cube now and see if we can get something recorded over there. Anyways, thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you dudes around. Thanks again. Bye.